early access Friday afternoon, 3 till 5. 2 hours to go explore the trade show floor and make plans for tomorrow. Finishing the video on reviewing some car washes here in Vegas. 4 different self-serves, 1 tunnel, big array of setups and quality. You know, every site has its quirks, every site needs fixes from time to time. You hope people stay on top of the maintenance and that none of the things we saw today are like long-term issues. I don't want to judge, people run their businesses differently. The tunnel was a bit of a letdown. I went and spoke to the staff and the bug prep machine is broken, which, you know, people operate differently. I would tell the customer that and maybe work on the service recovery, but we empower staff differently and it's not my business to run. And we've really got to go poke around the floor and see all the stuff we can't afford. But hopefully there's lots of new innovations, new technologies and ways to make more money in your car wash. Oh, that's very flashy. So we always start new company pavilion, see what new technologies are out there. This is where you get your startups. Should be some interesting AI quote-unquote products here. There's obviously a ChatGPT inspired image, that's cute. It'll be really interesting to see what they have. Let's go explore. Alright, so it looks like it's just the new areas that are open, but there's some really cool stuff here. We've got payment processors, which could potentially save you money if you're using CryptoPay or NYIAX, you have to use WorldPay. Got people with electric vehicle chargers. Everybody, some guy just made me a luggage tag to get me engaged in a conversation. There's all sorts of tricks going on. Payment devices over here, this is one we definitely need to talk to because I'm not convinced there's an industry leader right now. I think CryptoPay is on the back end. I think NYIAX and Monex might not be there yet. To see a new player is exciting. I've got more heaters. Oh, that's interesting. All right, let's keep wandering around. See all these ideas, all these places we're going to visit again tomorrow. All right, just chatting to the guys over here at Circumtech. Got these awesome new devices. The bigger one here takes the chip payment and swipe on the side for those country bumpkin banks that still don't have tap. And awesome little devices. It's so nice to see a competitor that's going to challenge CryptoPay. They're resilient. They've been working in Australia for a long time. If you're not aware, chip and pin tap payments have been existed outside of the US for a long time. It's odd here that it's only 10-year-old technology, but it's 20 years old everywhere else. I just checked. 12-24 volt DC, so they'll run in all our meter boxes. They'll run on the Wash Select. Anywhere we can think, we can plug them in, and that is awesome. And that's powered by Android, which, you know, as an iPhone engineer, that's not great, but we'll take it. This is something we need to come and talk to. 40% off custom brand signs? Yes, please. Look at these signs. These are really neat. This is the signage that really makes a difference. When you have decent menu boards, something that will catch the eye as people drive past, makes a huge difference, especially if your wash looks a little bit tatty. It's really easy to use one of these to tart them up. They can be expensive though, so we need to come talk to these people, work out what the prices are, and go from there. All right, things you didn't expect to see. Robot technology. Infinite possibilities in confined spaces. So they're using rail-mounted robots, programmable robots. So Wash World are here. I don't know if they have a new arm that they're advertising. The preview has closed now, so we need to leave, but this is the Hyperforce. So we've got not quite a dual arm, but dual nozzle system along the arms there. So you've got 2 sets of tips all the way along. Be interested to talk with them tomorrow. 25 nozzles, 7 manifolds. Okay. Coleman Hanna Power Pack, the bane of my existence. These things give me more trouble than I know what to do with. If you watch the channel, you know that in Portland we actually have one of the prototype versions of this that has direct injection rather than hydrominder tanks up top. And it is always broken. It is an absolute nightmare. I wouldn't recommend anybody buy that one. The integrated pump stand makes it quite convenient if you have enough space to work on it, but realistically, it's quite a struggle to do anything on it if you're in a small pump room like we are. The best thing about it is the 2120 stand here, which they've set up with some nice shiny brass. Wait a second, did Coleman have a new payment unit on here as well? Which brand is this? They have NYIAX on this side. Is this Monex? If it is, it's embarrassing that it's crashed. Eee. Coleman Hanna, despite the fact we only use them for their self-serve, they do have a lot of tunnel equipment. And it's quite highly regarded. I wonder if they prioritize that over the self-serve nowadays. It does seem to be the way. You make a lot more money if you're selling tunnel equipment than if you're selling self-serves. All right, that brings the promo early access event to a close. Lots of new and interesting companies there. It's always nice to see the startups. Perhaps we'll be there one day. A couple of SaaS companies there doing maintenance and like Jira, basically, for car washes, which is interesting. It's definitely something I've been working on. We may have a SaaS product at some point because we need a way to optimize what we're doing, and we're trying to tie in more of the financials to go with it. So more on that later. But this has been a very short intro to the car wash show. Tomorrow, the show floor opens, and there will be a lot more content coming from there. So stay tuned, subscribe. All right, before I leave, I want to talk about the payment device one more time. Really hard to talk about someone's device when you're there with them, and they're very excited about it. It looks like a really cool product, though. It looks like if NYIAX Monex and Monex were a little bit more evolved. They do an option that has a chip option with a swipe, or they do, I think they call it the IC25, which is just tap. Perfect for things like vacuums. I'm really interested in it. They are going to have a very competitive fee, apparently pricing $430 for the tap only, $490 for the swipe and tap. Sorry, swipe and chip. Very competitive when you look at Monex pricing. Device pricing similar to NIAX as well. Can be sub $10, they think. They haven't quite decided that yet. Sub $10 a month per device, which does add up. Maybe they'll do a bundle deal. Maybe as they're new to market, they'll have to incentivize it and prove themselves. But it's solid technology. Been in Australia for a long time. So exciting to see that there's a new player in the market. One thing I just noticed, which is kind of funny, there's absolutely no reason for them to have put Greenland, Denmark on other than current politics, which I don't get involved in. I just think it's kind of funny. I can't even vote here, but that made me laugh. Anyway, how'd you say hello? Hello, hello. Good day. Bye-bye. Right, it is the first day of the Car Wash Show 2025 here in Las Vegas. First full day anyway. We had early access yesterday, and we're here at the DNS stand. First, I have to say thank you to DNS. They hooked us up with tickets, which is very kind of them. We have their in-bay automatic, the touch-free in one of our sites, and there's potential that we'll buy some more equipment from them at some point, so we appreciate them looking after us. But let me show you around what they're offering. They have a truck wash here. I showed this last year. About 350 grand to buy outright. The downside for me is that it needs to live in a building. So you're in for $1 million, $1.5 million, maybe more, to build a building that will take a 100-foot track, which is a bit of a downside for me. I wish that was contained. Where my dad lives in France, there's a self-contained truck wash there that's thermoregulated, and it lives outside. And it's a wonderful thing. I wonder if that's the evolution of this. We also have the IQ self-serve, which is a really interesting direct injection self-serve. It uses no belts, so that's not a service item. You have direct drive on all of your cat pump. Everything has individual air adjustments, so you can really trim your chemicals exactly how you want. Lots of injectors are all individually tipped, different problems, but a very reliable system. And the footprint is great. It's really small. If you have a small pump room like we do in Portland, it's a great size. I'm a big fan of this. And here they've got a BMW sitting in the IQ Soft Touch. These are nice. It's like a wetsuit material almost. I really like these. And you can get one of these installed realistically for about 250, 300 grand. They're very expensive, but everything in the showroom is, unless you buy something from a land far away, which has its different problems. But anyway, that's DNS. Thank you to them for hooking us up with tickets. Let's go explore some of the other providers and see what else we can find. Seeing some interesting branding that you wouldn't think you'd see in 2025 here, the shiny, hiney truck wash. It's a bold call for an international trade show, but we're here looking at the DNS, the truck wash, which I'd really love one of these, but they do have to live inside, which is a bit of a deal breaker for me, because it's $350 for the unit, and then you spend $1 million building the building around it, if not more. And that makes it a real struggle. So this is the Water Wizard 2, and up here they have these wash wings, I think they call them. That allows you to actually apply the wax on the spot free pass, which helps speed things up. Also, compared to our Water Wizard 1, this has photo eyes on the boom, which is neat, so you always know that you're contouring properly. And the rest of it's very similar. There's a lot of common parts, a lot of common problems, I imagine. And then the dreaded pump stand that we know, love, and hate. Actually, this one we don't mind. This is the one we have in Hopkinsville, so this one is fine. Tanks up here. Somehow that's covered in dust, which is impressive. Made a really good point. We have this pump stand, and the membrane for the RO is on the back here, which is really frustrating to change. And we think with 20 years of building this product, that could slot in right here and be much easier to service. See, the RO membranes are a serviceable part, so you're in and out of there quite regularly. Well, regularly, once every 18 months, 12 months, depending on your water, depending if you've got good carbon filter. And one thing we're looking at here is we want to actually start looking at tunnels, because the goal is eventually to move up to the big boy league and get a tunnel, and we just don't know what things cost. How much does it cost to get this set up? We're going to find out. Ask some pointed questions, because, you know, that is the goal. Was it $1 million, $2 million, $500,000? Let's find out. This one I'm advertising a graphene product, which I don't know. Is that a good thing? Is that the next thing for ceramic, or is it just a buzzword? You always notice with these tunnels that they have loads and loads of dryers, which is cool, because you then go through this dry water droplet free emitter thing, which looks like a curtain, which is really soft. Alright, I assume that's a part of the drying process, like a buff process. It's kind of interesting stats here. We're on the move, shift with us, $330,000 revenue per employee, which is a pretty staggering number. If it's accurate, I mean, it's impressive. Lots of expensive equipment here, but it is kind of neat. They have some examples over here of where they built, which is kind of strange they don't show the equipment in use, but they give you some examples. Oh, this is where they manufacture stuff. Okay. We are walking from aisle to aisle. Where are we going next? PDQ maybe? Bellinger? ICS? If you want to laugh, we could go back to the WashLink pay stations and see how expensive they are. So this is the Ballinger tunnel equipment, and the more I look at these, the more similar they appear, and yet I feel like Lenny from Of Mice and Men. I have to touch all of them. Well, this is the thing, when we went through yesterday, I was like, I wonder if this actually does anything. I mean, it must do something, but it looks like it's a friction and a drag. Here we're looking at the Condor Flight from Ballinger? PDQ? I'm not sure. Really nice little steel frame here. I imagine to actually have this in real life, it needs to be a few feet longer, but dual arm, very simple looking. Be interested to see roughly what one of these would cost you compared to the other models. Here are your control boards here, and yeah, nice light show. Interesting unit, and they have another one over there, which is, which is lit up a little bit more brightly. We'll go look at that, but I haven't seen this one before. This is exactly what we need at most of our washes. Something that's just gonna pull people in. People will see this and they'll see the bling and the elements to it. Really nice effect. It's probably 15 grand's worth though, but let's find out the price on this. Okay, cheaper than I would have thought. This guy is $11,000. That's actually, seems like a real good deal because it's huge. It is probably 12, 14 feet tall. There's another example here of the Tag and Go car wash. Yeah, for 11 grand for that, that's a lot of branding for 11 grand. And a lot of our car washes, they just look old, tired, and we need something to pull people in from the street. It's really important. If you have an old wash, like you've got to compete with the G&G lighting over at the tunnels. We'll go see G&G in a bit. But this is the sort of thing we need. In fact, this guy here could be exactly what we need. Just an entrance barrier over our pay station in Portland would be awesome. New product, clearance structure with optional skin, 2,200 retail. What? Let's go have this conversation. So we just came across this guy here. This is metal signage. It is dual ply on some metal, ACM I think they called it. But the whole thing, $2,200, including the height bar, the stand. This here is just for the show so it doesn't fall over, but $2,200 for that. I think we could do something sneaky, and on the backside we could put some decent lighting and probably save ourselves 9 grand on an install, which I'll link the details of this company here in the description, but I think that's a really good deal. Ahern Signs, and maybe we'll find better as we go around. There we go, Laser Wash having their own little PDQ pay station. That's neat. It's compact, it doesn't take cash though. Whatever we get needs to take bills, I think. I don't want to take coins anymore. There's no point somebody putting quarters in for a $15 wash, but no coins. This is the Laser Wash 360. Believe it or not, this is the underpinnings of all of those Chinese washes you see on Instagram. They've basically cloned this and are reselling it for a lot less without the LEDs. They're doing a good job here. These make these a really good show as the LEDs are coming around. It's always fun at the show to see who's going to get whacked by the arm. I got hit by an Oasis last year. So we're just getting a price for the Sunny's pay station here. Purely out of curiosity, this one takes cash, cards, gift cards as well. When you open them up, you see that they really are just running a 17-inch monitor. It's running a Windows PC in here. It does do card dispensing, but they just operate the same way with the 24-volt relays to fire off the washers. All right, we just got the price for the pay station over there. $51,000. $51,000 for a Windows PC, a bill acceptor, a card acceptor, some low voltage relays, and a printer, and a code scanner, I guess, as well. $51,000. That is insane to me. I don't know how you justify 51 grand on your pay station. If you can do that, good for you. We can't, that's for sure. Another thing we find as we go around the tunnel operators is that the markup for things is insane. To add cash acceptance to a pay station, for example, is an additional 5 grand. Takes you from 15 to 20 for a retrofit door. The bill acceptor is $700. You have to cut a hole in the stainless steel to accept the bills, and there's a little bit of programming. What are we chatting about? 5 grand. This is the Istanbul that we went through recently. It's huge, big enough for a bus, I believe. 9'6", top wash. That's huge. Just met Ethan from Car Wash Channel. Good to meet you in person, buddy. And yeah, it's always fun to see people at the show, wherever we are, that watch the channel. I appreciate everyone that does. Lots of interesting colours here at Istanbul. This is the shorter soft touch option. I do like that they've got this matrix panel up here, some advertising, and the integrated stop go is really nice as well. Drivers make mistakes all the time. Where do I stop? So having actual laser grid or a photo eye grid, much better than the treadles we have on our Ricos. And then the black and the purple looks really nice. That's gonna hide the dirt really well. So the pink shell is a choice, but not mine. And you can see they're pretty much like you style it as you want. All these different colors. They have a 3 brush, 5 brush. They do the combo as well. Extended height and extended width. I wonder what that's for. We're over here talking to Oasis about their in-bay tunnel. So really interesting. It's partitioned into 2 bays. So you can have 2 cars in there at once. You self-propel through to the next stage once the wash is done. Then you'll see this door comes down. comes down here to isolate the car, and the car in the rear is getting washed whilst the car in the front has the dryers running over it. Really interesting. It's almost a way to get a tunnel experience, including a tire shine, without having to have an attendant, have any staff. You can just have it like it's a normal IBA, but with bells and whistles. Really neat idea. If you remember my little makeshift project over in Portland with the Dosatrons, it looks like somebody else has made it in a professional. I mean, I don't know, the plywood worked quite well. I don't know if you need stainless steel, but look at that. That looks quite nice. It's really interesting to see how many new and small iteration companies there are where they've just taken something that exists and tweaked it slightly. Alright, that is going to do us for the Car Wash Show 2025 in Las Vegas. We've seen everything from multi-million dollar tunnels. You can spend $8 million here without any issues. I've just seen a WashLink pay station that's $60,000, which is the most expensive we've seen so far. And then you also have the new Chinese import machines, the IBAs, which are priced anywhere from $140,000 to $170,000. And all of the pay stations that are at that end of the market as well, down to around 15 at the absolute lowest end. Lots of value here if you're shopping for the right thing. There's lots of ways to spend an awful lot of money as well, though. And hopefully, if you're in the market, you see some of these suppliers in the background and you reach out to them, because there's some good, interesting technologies coming. Anyway, if you like this video, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.